Hey everyone, in this video we are going to complete this logo design. We're going to be working with the stroke, which we found out about in the last assignment, and we're going to be adding dashes to the stroke, and then lastly we're going to be adding arrowheads along paths. Alright, so here's how we're going to get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to select the blue circle. After we select the blue circle, we're going to go over to the right-hand side, and we are going to adjust the stroke weight. So off to the right-hand side of this stroke, you can see this number in points. And we can use the arrows, up and down arrows right here, to click up or down to make that stroke bigger or smaller. We can also click the drop down here to make that stroke larger or smaller. Or lastly, we can click in and actually change the number. But we want to change that stroke, so it is 13 points. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to change the way that stroke looks. So the way we're going to edit that is in the Properties menu, we're going to select the word stroke. After we select the word stroke, we have a bunch of different options and things that we can change. We can change where the alignment's going, as far as if it's in the middle or if it's in the outside, or sorry, inside or outside. We can add dashed lines, and we can also add arrowheads and do other things. The way we're going to do this right away here is let's go and we're going to move the stroke alignment to the outside. What this does is it moves all of the color to the outside of the path. In Illustrator, the lines are called paths. At the end of the line, we have a thing called the point, which would be actually called the anchor. Now, so we moved all of our piece of our stroke to the outside edge of the artwork. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually just going to move it back to the middle. Now, from there, we are going to work on creating a dashed line. The way we're going to do that is we're going to select this little box right here that says dash line. After we click that, down below, it's going to open up options. We have a dash popping in, and then we have a gap. All right. It says 12 points is our first piece here. We're going to select into that, and we're going to change that number to 7. After we click there, we can click over to the right-hand side, and then we can edit our gap. If we don't change the gap, what's happening is we have a 7-point black piece followed by a 7-point gap. It just repeats that all the way around or creates a pattern. But in here, what we're going to do is we're going to change the gap for our second piece to 9. And then click off to the edge or hit enter. Now, with that being said, now we have changed it so we have a 7-point black space followed by a 9-point spacing. And that pattern goes all the way around. If we wanted to change that a little bit, we could add more dashes and more gap pieces. So you can alter that to make a stitch look or whatever it may be going around your path. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the stroke weight, and we're actually going to make this skinnier. So we're going to click and make the line thinner by selecting 2 points instead of 13. And that'll kind of make a more of a dashed or a seam look going around our circle. Lastly, we're going to click off into open space, and then we're going to select our fill, and we're going to turn our fill color off, creating that so we just have a white look on the inside. Now that we have all that taken care of, the last thing that we're going to do in this video is we're going to learn how to add arrowheads. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to use our selection tool to select one of these line segments. Then we're going to hold down the Shift key on our keyboard and select the other one. Now that we have both these line segments selected, we're going to go back over here to the Properties panel and select Stroke. After we open up our Stroke panel, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slide down to where it says Arrowheads. We have 2 boxes here that we can alter, which is the beginning and the end of our line segment. We're going to click into the first drop down, and we're going to use our scroll wheel to look down through the different arrowheads that we can add to this line. You can see at about 16 to 17, it goes from the fronts to the backs of an arrow. What we're going to do is select 14 for this exercise. When we select that, our arrowhead is the same weight of our line at 1 point. If we select the drop down, we can make that bigger by selecting a larger piece like 3 to make it bigger. If you wanted to scale the arrowhead different from the actual line segment, you could use the scale percents underneath here to change them smaller than the actual line itself. At the same time, we are also going to go to the back of the line and we're going to select the drop down over there and we're going to slide down to where it transitions to the back of the arrows. And for this one, we're going to select arrow 18. Once again, you can change the back side of the arrow if you want to make it bigger or smaller comparative to the line segment with the percentage below. If you wanted to flip these around, you wanted the arrowheads to be in the opposite side, you could also click this little icon over here where it says swap the start and the end of the arrowheads, where it flips those two. We're going to end ours with the arrowheads on the top. We're going to click off on a blank spot now, and we're going to deselect by selecting outside. And at this point, we're ready to do a file save to make sure we save our progress. And then we are ready for our first mission for this assignment because we've completed the exercise. So we want to do a screenshot now by using our print screen or our window Shift S. And then we want to click and drag across our screen to select our image. Remember, after we release here, we're going to be making a screenshot in your pictures folder in your screenshots folder. Thanks for watching the video. In our last step, we'll be editing this one more time to your liking.